Here we go, everybody. Leather and Lumber Podcast presented by Lynx Baseball. Lynx Baseball is sponsored by Marucci. Greatness isn't given, it's built. In the cages, in the weight room, in the dirt and sweat you leave. Marucci Sports knows what it takes because they've been there. Founded by big leaguers, the gear is designed by players for players. Bats that deliver power, gloves that feel like extensions of your hand. Apparel built for hustle. Whether you're chasing your first hit or your next contract, they've got your back. This isn't just equipment, it's a commitment to your grind. Marucci, honor the game. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, exciting show for you today. Coach Ryan Kelley of the 2027 Marucci Scout Team. Got a long conversation with Rye. I think we go for about an hour and a half. Hope everybody enjoys this listen. Rye's a good friend of mine, been with the organization for a couple years. I couldn't do this without him. Hope you guys enjoy.
Are you ready for it?
Whoop, whoop. Here I come.
Oh.
Here I come.
Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, special guest, Ryan Kelley. Coach Kelley, 27 Marucci Scout Team. What's up, big guy?
Hey, how we doing?
You know,
just waiting for the cold to end here in Chicago. Brutal. Just got back from Vero Beach. We were at Dodger Town for Montini Catholics
look at you.
spring training trip. And it was 85 and sunny with like a breeze like 5 days in a row. And then you came back here and we played St. Rita yesterday and it was snowing half the game. So
Did you guys win?
yeah, we won.
Look at you.
Go
How's
Broncos.
the season so far?
We're young. I knew we didn't know kind of what we were going to get out of the pitching staff. We knew we'd hit. Lost a bunch of big commits from last year, but we're 6-5 and we're trending in the right direction before conference play. So, what's funny is baseball is such an individual sport, but when it really all works, especially it's something special about high school baseball too, where it's like you're playing for something, and you're playing for guys who've played there, years before that and stuff. And it's a cool thing, especially in the Chicago Catholic League. It's super competitive. Every game's competitive, right? Like you hear it all the time. There's good teams and bad teams in the Chicago Catholic League, right? But for one of those bad teams to upset the best team is like a commonplace. Happens all the time, right? So that's why it's fun to play in it, for sure.
When the lights turn on, shit gets real, right?
Oh yeah.
And the best players, come out to play at that point.
For sure.
Let's jump into it. Let's talk about the 2027 Scout Team. You've been at the helm. This will be your third year, right? Started off your first year. We were a 500 ball club. We were a good team. I think we had some talent. I think we just had to learn how to play at that level, right? What's your assessment of your first year?
Yeah, I mean, it was new for me. It's new for them, right? And obviously, there's a lot of trial and error when you're at that age and you're playing at that high of a level. Right. There's the guys that are going to figure it out, but haven't figured it out. There's the guys that aren't going to figure it out. And then there's the guys that have it figured out. And it's a really, really overall, when you first get them, at that age, is a lot of it is gauging like, who is this guy going to be a year and a half from now? Right. Because you see, and it's really more of an evaluation of athleticism at that age, right? When you get them, it's like, is this kid, right? And it's something I stress, and you hear coaches say it all the time, is like, I want athletes, right? I want a kid who played soccer. I want a kid who played basketball. because the little things and the little footwork and the little hand-eye stuff that you take from each of those sports translates to the deeper talent of baseball, right? Or the progression of baseball talent, in my opinion. So it's funny, but seeing these guys, and it's like you get them when they're little kids, and then by the time you're done with them, they're 18-year-old guys. It's just a totally different world. But you have to have the ability, and I think too, it goes back to assessing the work ethic, assessing the love for the game, assessing the how they act when things don't go well, right? Like I always say, is like I want you to care, right? If you don't care, then we're never gonna get to that. We're never gonna get to a point where we can understand each other, right? You have to care about it, right? You have to hate losing. You have to care about the team and winning for the team and for your teammates, right? And if you don't, but if like you're young, I can tell you love sports, right? I can tell you love baseball. I can tell you're a guy who's going to put in the work and you're a good attitude guy. Like those are the guys. And it's funny as you see those guys that have worked out, right?
Yeah.
Like when I had Holden Cafish, he was a little guy when I got him. Now, getting innings at the varsity level as a sophomore in North Carolina. I mean, it's not a shock to me, right? Even though you meet the kid and he's just a little guy, right? So you have to, if you just assessed all those guys once you get them when they're really young, as this guy isn't there yet, right? It's so much more of like the overall assessment of who they are as people, who they are going to be as baseball players when it really all comes out, and it's great to see, Joe Seed, all these guys that I've had since the start, Schlager, all these guys. And it's like their progression, right, it's been steady, but it's all because they put in the work, right?
That's right.
And they're committed and they love the sport. And it is funny. It's awesome to see them progress and like do better and do well on their varsity baseball teams, and all of that is the best. It's awesome to see. But at the same time, it's not necessarily shocking, right? There's a reason they've been with us for 3 years, right? They're kids that, it should be more shocking, but it's really not when like the character of the ball players that we have in this organization. It's like of course they're going to be successful, right?
Yeah.
Or they wouldn't be playing for
successful young men and good young men, right? Like,
right.
I think the biggest thing that you and I always look at when we're evaluating is like, what kind of kid is he? Right? Is he coachable? Does he work hard? Like, and honestly, the first place you look when you're evaluating that is mom and dad. Look at mom and dad,
100.
right? What do they do for a living? How are they at games? How are they at workouts? Like, do they make friends with people easy? Are they good people? Like, you look at some of our guys and you look at their parents and you immediately know, like, these are our kind of players. These are our kind of people. And that,
Right.
That's a testament to the families that we bring in. So, first year we were a 500 club. We were a good team. We had some pieces that were missing. Year 2, Manny and I really went to work and recruited some other guys. I think you guys were 18-5 last year or something like that. 16-4, something like that, some ridiculous number. So you go from a 500 ball club to winning 75% of your games.
And that's
tell me a little bit about last year.
Yeah, I mean, last year, Ty Ostinger's top team should have beat him, right?
Yep.
Beat the Red Sox Scout Team, number like 9, or I think it was 9 or 15 in the nation ranked type of team.
Yep.
So we were beating incredibly good ball clubs last year. And I mean, a lot of those games too that we might have not pulled out, or, late games where we hadn't made pool play, people go back type of thing. So it's like we're winning, upwards of 90% of the ball games that we're playing now. This year, I think obviously the talent gets a little bit better, but I mean, we should win a lot of ball games. And I think, I don't see us getting blown out with our depth in on the field and in the pen. So it's like it's going to be. I mean, and it's like I said, it's the same thing with when you see the progression of the kids. It's like it's analogous to the progression of the ball club, right? Like they're growing up, they're doing the right things, we're winning more baseball games. It all makes sense, right? And you know, we talk about it too, is winning ball games is nice, right? And but it's so much more about the guys, like you said, the guys that we get, where they go to school, how they succeed, right? And this is nothing against, you know, it is what it is, right? The baseball tournament landscape, right? Showcase landscape, it is what it is. But you know, it's on us somewhat as organizers and coaches to also be able to see the bigger picture and understand, like, you know, burning out any of these kids isn't worth winning these games. You know, that's first and foremost. But no, I last year was incredibly successful, right? And I mean, big shout out on the recruiting trail, but Gary Mendoza, I mean, that guy changed the landscape of this organization, right? With one, his commitment to the organization, and two, like the where he's from and and who he is in that baseball community in Southern California. That's, you don't get that over a year, right? That's a lifelong guy who's been involved in baseball in that area, and it's a special place for baseball in America. That's for sure.
Yep. There's a couple of those teams out here in Cary right now playing in that national high school tournament at the USA complex. I think there's 3 or 4 teams from California that are in it. Corona's in it. They've got that number 1 shortstop, Carlson, or whatever his name is, Billy Carlson, I think. He's pretty good. And I actually think the Ebel brothers are on there. Dino's kids. Dino's the third base coach for the Dodgers.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool too. Let's dive right into your team. And you know, speaking of Gary, let's talk about meat for a little bit. Michael Mendoza. You know, let's talk about the backstop for a little bit. Rye, what you got?
I mean, like one-on-one, the best catcher, best field general that I've ever coached, right? And I've had, you know, college catchers at Montini, right, that I've coached. I mean, the guy I'm coaching there now is going to be a college catcher. Quinn Poprakis, absolute stud. AJ Manganello, who went to college last year, absolute stud. But Michael Mendoza, there's very few people that can match his energy, right? Like, you see catchers sometimes and they're a little bit more cerebral. Like, that's not Mike. Mike is the most in your face baseball player that I've coached, right? Reminds me a lot of, you know, some of the guys I grew up playing with, where it was like, Mike was going to be himself and you have to let Mike be himself. But when Mike's himself, it's some of the best baseball, right? And you look at him too, his ceiling, right? Because he's a strong kid. I mean, obviously I've coached him, but he's still got room to grow, and how that kid hits the baseball is
he hits it like
incredible.
a grown man.
Oh my God.
He hits it like a grown man. He throws it like a grown man. I mean, he's having an unreal season this year out at Northview. I think he's hitting 380. He's found 5 barrels in the last 2 games come up empty. No hits, 0 for 5 with 5 barrels. Hit 2 balls to the wall and right.
He does that for us. He does that for us all the time.
What more do you want? Like, hit it on the barrel. But you're right. I think the field general, right? Like the ability to keep your pitchers engaged and focused. And it's just, you know, it is really, really good. And the sky's the limit for that kid.
Oh, yeah.
Let's stay behind the plate. New guy to the organization. You've actually got his brother also, but Andrew Galley, you know, goes to school up north in Connecticut. He's a young 2027. Like, he could play 2028. But, you know, we saw him at Scout Day. He caught Johnny which was kind of cheating when I was watching because they're brothers. But I mean, Johnny first time can't be that easy to catch, and Andrew made it look really good. Big left-handed bat. I think it's going to be a great 1-2 tandem, with Michael. Anything about Andrew jump out at you?
Big boy. Obviously, and the family, the brother, all that. Yeah. So I'm assuming the talent's there if you grow up in a family, full of boys like that playing baseball all the time. But no, yeah, he's we're excited to have him, right? It's going to be a good addition for sure.
I think he's got 2 bombs on the year already. Like I said, you got 2 backstops with Mondo juice behind the dish, right, and that helps
big time. Because sometimes with catchers, right, you don't care.
Yep.
You don't care so much what they do, but at the plate. But when you can get, Mike's going to hit over 300 and hit multiple home runs for us this summer.
He hit 500 across 3 teams last year.
Right.
Like on the summer circuit, like that's impressive. And like, the thing with Andrew, I think that we're talking about is Andrew might have more raw power than me. Pure raw power. And that's tough to do.
See it.
That's tough to do. Right. But we're excited to see Andrew on the field with the boys this year. Let's stay up the middle. Let's go to your shortstop, Damian Cordero. D2, one of Gary's guys. Gary brought in. He's a top 50 player in the country. Playing shortstop, probably hit leadoff, might hit 2 for us. We got a pretty good leadoff guy. But I think, Damian, solidifies a place on the field that we really haven't had before, and that's a true number 1 everyday shortstop. This team, I don't think, has ever had that. What do you got on Damian, Rye?
You know what? I haven't seen him, right? So you probably would be the one who's seen a little bit more of him. I mean, I've talked to Gary about it, though, and I know it's good. And, right, like you said, everyday shortstop. I mean, we did a lot with, we had to move our third baseman over last year. Not that that was a problem. I mean, that guy can field the position, but it's still not, like you said, a true everyday shortstop over there. So, yeah. I mean, I get exactly what you're saying. And you know what? Like I was touching on earlier, right? Like if Gary vouches for him, right?
I'm in.
And it's a hole that we need filled.
Yep.
It's going to be a guy who's going to do the job. He's going to take care of business. So I'm excited to meet him. I'm excited to have him on the team this summer. And, like I said, I'm assuming, the best part is you get the Kelley boys. They've been playing baseball since January, right? Yeah. So by the time summer starts, they're mid-season form guys, they don't, they hit the ground running, where it's like, I even talking to George Kafis last night. He's saying you guys are like towards the end of your baseball season down there, and
2/3 of the way through. Yeah,
every team up here is 3 and 4.
Yeah.
So we got, it's a long time going up here, right? But it's different. It's Midwest baseball. You got to freaking play in the tundra.
Let's go over to the other side of the diamond to second base. Our leadoff guy from last year, Jaden Montañez. Definitely the spark plug, I think, for you guys. I think as he went, your offense went, right? High on base, hitting well over 500, entering the last event of the year. Rye, what do you got on Jay?
Yeah, great baseball player. Great bat to ball skills, hits for a little pop. I'm expecting him to hit for a little bit more pop this year, slug the ball a little better. Solid in the field, can also play shortstop, right? If there's ever an issue there, you're throwing a guy over there. Just a really quality baseball player that, makes the right decisions on the field, right? And he's he passes the eye test when you see Jaden, right? I mean, you see him, how he moves, he plays on his toes, his swings solid. He puts the same swing on the ball every single time, and that's for a kid, that's something you see in later progressions of kids, right? But I mean, it's where he grew up, kid knows baseball, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
just a guy you know's coming back, and you're not gonna have to worry about where he's gonna play or what he's gonna do most of the summer, which is always nice to have those guys.
Yep. Yeah, man, he hits. He really hits. Like I said, he was well over 500 going into the WWBA last year and had a tough WWBA. What he taken 0 for 12 or something like that. Still hit 400 on the year, but just couldn't find the hole at WWBA, and that was a big tournament. And I mean, with your leadoff guy taking an 0 for, I mean, that's tough, but he still found his way on base through some walks. Kids kicked a couple balls. He found his way on base. But, I mean, I think credit to him for kind of keeping himself in it and helping you guys win some ball games and not taking the at-bats into the field with him. Still playing a solid second base and still giving you guys an opportunity to win a lot of ball games in that event. Let's roll to the outfield. Let's stay up the middle and go to the outfield. Let's go to your center fielder, Nolan Rowley, from the Great North in Minnesota. I think, personal opinion, he has had the best offseason of anybody in the organization. He has just flown onto the national scene. I mean, last year he played with the 26s, started in the infield, kind of had the throwing thing, the yips. We moved into the outfield, and different athlete. He's strong, he's fast, he's athletic. In his last showcase, I think he was 92 from the outfield with a 6.6 60 and 100 off the bat or something like that. I mean, he is just different. Ryan, I know you haven't really seen Nolan a bunch, but what do you got on him of what you have seen?
Well, I had him in the couple of the 26 games that I coached last year, and then he played for us in the fall. So yeah. I have, and honestly, it's the most athletic kid that I've had on this team, and it's not even really close, to be honest.
Well, that says a lot. Kafis is an athlete,
right? But this, I mean, and it's similar, right? It's similar, right? Kafis is fast. They're different, a little bit different skill sets, but Rowley is he gives off Division I type of athleticism, right? And especially when you start messing around, getting into 93 from the outfield type of stuff with 6.6 speed,
with 100 mile an hour,
and they haven't even seen the bat yet. A lot of them don't need the bat with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they're like 660. This kid's got a rifle. If he slaps the ball around, we're okay with that in center field or left field or wherever you put him out there. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it's like, and the best part about all of that is his bat might be the best part, which is
scary.
Crazy. He's
scary.
Yeah. Dad's a Chicago boy, Joliet Catholic.
Yeah, he is. Salt of the earth kind of guy. Love that family. But the thing with Nolan, and I'm going to say this, and Nolan, I'm sorry, buddy, but who my comparison is at this age? Is Mike Trout. Speed, arm, bat. I don't know if he has that kind of pure juice that Trout had.
See, I'm thinking
that's who he's
projecting
towards.
I'm thinking Yelich, Hunter Pence type of, he's a little long too. I mean, he's
a lot leaner than Trout is. Trout's thick.
Right. But I'm just, one of those super, super athletic, guys who can hit the ball to all fields type of baseball players. I mean, yeah, he's gonna be great. Just keep him healthy. That's all I'm worried about.
We talked about, Damian and Jaden hitting 1-2 in either order. You stick meat in the 3-hole, and I think Nolan hits 4 for you guys. Welcome to the cleanup spot, Mr. Rowley. You should have a ton of RBIs with those 3 hitters hitting in front of you. Let's go to our other center fielder, Benicio Quinones. New to the organization, played for the East Coast Ghosts last year. Didn't really enjoy his time, not his cup of tea, if you will, with the Ghost. So we got a call, and we signed Benicio up on the lines of super athletic. I think he's 6'3", 200 pounds. He is a grown man playing center field. He can run, he can throw, he hits for power. You guys have a plethora of athletes patrolling your outfield. Coincidentally, I think all of them pitch as well, which lucky you. And we'll get into.
Oh, I love that.
We're gonna. Oh yeah, we'll get into these guys on the bump a little bit. But I think when it does, like when you get these type of athletes in the outfield, you tell the pitchers, boys, just throw the ball over the dish, right? Just throw it over the dish.
Oh my God, we're dealing with that in high school right now, right? It's like you realize it too. Is like there's levels to this, right? Like massively, right? Like you played at the top level, John, right? You had to be cute with your shit on the outer half or the inner half or wherever you were going to throw it, because it wasn't okay for you to just challenge guys in certain situations, because they will mash the baseball, right?
Oh, yeah.
And we see it too now. As funny as like in your head, it's almost like you're analytically playing the game of, Major League Baseball. You're like, how would I set this guy up? And when it really comes down to it, it's like, just burn a 2-seamer, right? And get him to frickin' roll over. Like, stop trying to be, right? And I think it's important, right? Because if you start cute and you keep trying to be cute, you're never a competitive pitcher, right?
Yep.
You have to go at guys, right, early to be cute later. And that's when you get guys, right? That's when you start getting them. But if you don't challenge guys, right, you're going to make a mistake. You're going to leave one back over the middle, right? And you were never competitive in that at bat at all, right? Yep. So I'm a big, especially in relief roles, right? If you're brought in a game, right, you need to go at that guy, right?
Well, with the defense you guys put out there, I mean, Christ, elevate it a little bit and let him hit it to center field. Let those guys run after it. My God. I mean, you have 2 6'6" runners in center field. Let them go get it.
100%.
Let's go to the other side. Let's go to the right side of the field. Your right fielder, Ethan Whistler. What do you got on E?
Oh, Wissy ball game?
Yeah, that guy.
I mean, another incredible athlete, right?
Yep.
Fast, multi-sport, varsity starter on his basketball team. Could play multiple sports in college guy, he's another one where it's, the ceiling for him, right? It could be hitting one thing one time and one person seeing him, and who knows where Wissy could go, Yep. Ethan Whistler, up there. And I know I've said this a bunch of times on this podcast, but I think it speaks to the quality of the team and the guys that I'm coaching. But, athletically, I don't know, like up there with a Rolly, with a Kafis, where it's like, it's there's nothing bad, right? Throws the ball a mile, right? Hits the ball a mile when he gets a hold of one, which he needs to get a hold of a couple more this summer. And that's what I tell you.
I agree.
But he will.
I think.
Did you see the one you saw the one he hit this year?
Yeah. Yep. Almost onto the football field. Yeah,
bomb.
I saw it.
But no,
it
he's
was a shot. I've only seen one ball hit farther than that at that field.
right. But that's how I feel every time Ethan swings the baseball bat. I'm like,
Yeah.
if he does get this, it's going to go so far.
Yep.
And he did in high school. And I mean, like I said, there's, Ethan's a serviceable college outfielder. He's a serviceable, more than serviceable on the mound, right? And
I think
he
that's
knows he could probably hit a little better, but like it's like I said, with athletes like that, Ethan will hit. He's not gonna not hit. It's just athletes figure it out, and Ethan's one of those guys.
Yep.
For
Let's
sure.
stay in the right field. New player to the organization, Brody Gomez, 6 foot, 190 pounds, bazooka attached to his right shoulder. He's 90 plus off the mound, 90 plus from the outfield, runs like a deer. Bro, you got just a plethora of them patrolling that big hunk of green grass out there. Gary raves about this kid, says he can absolutely do it. I've talked to a few college coaches already. They love him. They love what he brings to the table. I cannot wait to see this young man in action.
Excited. Likewise, Gary's told me a bunch, so excited to see what addition he brings to the team. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing, right? Is the guys who have put in the work, and this kind of ties everything back together, right? The guys who have put in the work from day one that are still with us, right? You've seen the progression, right? And then obviously, like every team, there's guys that don't work out, there's guys that go other places, right? But having Gary and Meat on this team and like the pipeline that has come from Gary, right? I mean, we've replaced tenfold and some of these positions where we've lost guys, and it's you're going to come back, and with the base that we have of this team, and with the additions Gary's made, it's like it's going to be a fun summer for these guys for sure.
Let's move over to left field. Devin Montesano, kind of for me, Dev kind of tried too hard last year. I think he was trying to be something he wasn't, and I've said this before on the pod, but like when you play for the Dodger Scout Team for the first time, like it can be intimidating. And I think Devin was trying so hard to fit in. I mean, he did a fine job. His batting average wasn't great. Most of his hits were singles. He played a fine outfield. On the mound, it wasn't that impressive, but I also think he was still kind of growing into his body a little bit. And I reference that because in his last PG showcase, he was up to like 85, a big jump from 78 where he was last year in perfect game. But, I think he's going to see some time on the mound. He's going to see some time in the outfield. What do you got on Dev, right?
Great guy. Love Devin. Love his dad. Again, like great family, guy who gets it. Dad played college sports, and Devin's one of those guys, I think, right? We talk about that 3 years ago when you bring the young guys in and it's just this massive learning curve. It's not that much different when you come a year ago, right? Like the difference from, in 2 years, they're going to be 18, they're going to be going to college. But like from when you're in 7th grade to about sophomore year, right? Like anyone who gets thrown into this is going to be, it's going to be some shock value in it. And there's going to be a learning curve, and not everyone's going to catch on, right? It was never, again, like good athlete. Devin's a good athlete, right?
Yep.
Can run, he's big, and dude, by the end of the year, Devin was hitting the ball harder than as anyone on our team, right? Consistently, right? And I think with him, it's like I'm excited for him because I think it's a better year for him because of exactly what you brought up, right? It's like the progression, the ability to have played a whole entire season, now playing varsity baseball, he's going to come back and like that, adjustment period that he had to deal with last year is going to be, he's gone through it now, you know?
Yep.
So I think biggest thing for him on the mound, right, is just throw strikes like we talked about, right? He didn't challenge enough guys. Too many free passes last year. And if he challenges guys, I think, you know, he has a much more successful summer last year on the bump, but very promising with how he hit the ball towards the end of the season, for sure.
Let's go to our other left fielder, our Arizona guy, Hawk Lakari. Now, Hawk's only going to be with us twice this year. His dad is suffering from COVID complications. This, I think, is his, third year having to deal with this stuff. And, he can't work because of the COVID complications and the stuff it's in his lungs. And it's kind of a really bad situation. So, we're going to bring Hawk out twice this year, let him play for the team. Rye, what do you got on our lefty?
Oh, Hawk's the best. Hawk's a cool customer. He plays the outfield. Everything he does it well, and he does it looking like it's effortless, right? Like, he's another guy, has the look of a college baseball player, has the look of a guy who carries himself like that, right? And he has his moments where he gets frustrated with himself, but 90% of the time he's just dealing up there, or he's, hit for us last year very well. Came down to USA with me, hit very well down there. Yep. He's again hard, also can run, right? So not a lot of weak points in Hawk Lakari's baseball game. He's starting to go through
body now, and he's starting to put muscle on.
He's a true, and it's not even into his body. He's got like a body type, right? He's a little slender. But he's just gonna put mass on it, and all of the things he does are gonna just get better and better. And he'll do that, and he knows that too. He's the type of kid also who's smart. He knows he needs to bulk up. That's it.
We're looking forward to having him for a couple of these tournaments. Let's roll into the infield. Another one of Gary's guys, Ali Carrillo, from Utah, by way of Venezuela, my old stomping grounds. If you don't know who Ali is, all you have to do is look on our Instagram page. He is all over it. He tags us literally every day in something he does. Smooth infielder, great glove, good arm. With the bat, his hands are a little higher than most. It's a little unorthodox, but my God, the barrel gets to where it needs to go, and it jumps. He's got some thunder to all fields. He's another one of these kids. We can slide him over and play shortstop if we have to give D2 a day off. Really, really looking forward to having Ali on this team this year. Ryan, anything on Ali that stood out thus far? I know you haven't seen him yet, but I know you see a lot of his Instagram stuff.
No, yeah, I've seen the from the looks of what I've seen on social media and stuff, it's going to be a great addition again, excited to have him. Gonna, filling the team with guys who can hit. Not going to go wrong there. We'll find somewhere.
That's right. Let's roll over to the first baseman, Cooper Schlager. Schlag Daddy, one of the original guys on this team.
Schlag Daddy.
Right, go ahead, man. I know you can talk for an hour on Coop, but don't do that.
Dude, just ice in his veins, man. Another guy, just kind of like Hawk, goes about his business. And I'll tell you what, that record, you talk about us winning baseball games, right? Without Cooper Schlager, you can cut half of those games, maybe half, and it's not even an exaggeration of, here's a guy who's going to start. Not his day. Got to go to Cooper halfway through the second. Then next thing you look up, it's 5-2, and Schlager's thrown 4.5 innings, and you win the baseball game. Like it's clockwork. And you want to talk about, and we'll bring it up for the third time, a guy who is competitive with the stuff he has on the mound.
Yep.
Right at you always.
Yep.
Here you go.
Zero fear. He could care less if the ball
my
gets hit or not.
two-seamer, hit this. You have to hit it because I'm going to throw strikes, right? And look at what it's done for him, right?
Oh, yeah.
He comes in. He's an ideal long reliever. Ideal. You bring him in. He can go 75 pitches, and he fills every single one of them up, right?
Yep.
He's gotten us out of more jams. Not to mention up there best bat to ball guy we have. Hits line drives every time he's up. Talk about a kid he'll have stints where he goes 0 for 5 with balls that were barreled at like the shortstop's face, and it's like, Coop, sorry. And he'll just be like, shoot, go to the dugout. I'm like, Coop. I'm just like, sorry, dude. I don't know what to tell you. You just hit a line drive 5 feet above the ground to the right fielder 3 times in a row. I'm sorry. It's not they're just playing you there. Also, another guy takes what's given to him, hits the ball where it's pitched, right? 2-strike guy, you want to frickin' put the ball the other way and get a guy in? Cooper Schlager, dude. Will do it.
That's right. Hey, what's your battery on your computer right now, Rye?
Bro, we're cooking. It's 16%. I don't know why it's not charging, but
hey,
we got a little time.
If it crashes on you, just jump on your phone. We'll finish on your phone. That's cool.
I think we're good. If we roll, let's go.
All right, let's go. Let's go to our Super U, our guy that can play anywhere, Joey C. Rye, what you got on Joey?
Joey C, best utility guy you could ever ask for. Hits above his weight. A guy last year that struggled, right? And I talk about this all the time, where the best part about coaching high school sports, right, is that there's moments in time, right, where people, like, you can see the physical moment in time where they either do it or they don't do it, right? Yeah. And Joey had one of those last year, right? Started super rough, and it got to a point where it's like, Joe, it's like, you're going to have to do it now, or it might, like, you got to do it, or it's or never. Yep. And from that point on, he might have batted 600, like 7.
He ended up second on the team behind Meat.
Right. What did he hit?
386, 389, something like that on the year.
Unbelievable.
And he was hitting under 100 after the first 2 tournaments.
Hitting the ball off the wall. Like he's, and you know what? My favorite thing about Joey is just, you ever hear like, let the barrel do the work? Joey is the greatest at, like, a pitcher will execute their pitch and Joey will hit that pitch off the wall just because he knows where it's pitched. And he's a incredible hitter, and he's a guy too. It's like with a bat like that, it's hard to ever, there's always a place to put Joe where he's going to be incredibly productive for your baseball team. And it's like, it's funny as he's turned into the utility guy, but he was always going to be that. And he's perfect in that role. And he's the type of guy too, is, and it's a testament to his family as well. Great. Like some of the best people I've ever met. And I'm a little biased, right? I've been with the kid for 3 years, but if you ask Gary, if you ask any of these other parents, right? Like Frankie and Dez are some of the best people I've ever met in sports. And they're real too, right? They're East Coasters. Like Frankie told me last year, he's like, dude, I don't know. Right. I don't know. And then Joe shows up, and it's funny. The best thing is to share moments with people like that, right? I'm close with them. And to share that moment when Joey just goes off last year, like literally goes off. It was like somebody in a basketball game hitting 8 3-pointers in a row after they were like 0 for 4. And it's like
10 straight hits in those 2 tournaments.
Yes, unbelievable.
10 straight.
And you're like, But it's so
Unbelievable.
funny that's the beauty of baseball, right? It'll humble you in a second the next day. You'll
Yep.
straight up just be like, oh, you'll go from the highest high to the lowest low. And then sometimes you'll be at your lowest low and then do what Joey did last summer, it was mind boggling. But it's so funny. It's like you're having one conversation with his dad 2 weeks ago, and then you fast forward 3 weeks later, and it's like that's just a whole different world that
Yeah.
existed. It's
Oh, yeah.
crazy. But
Oh, yeah.
that's it. And that's the most rewarding thing is like when you coach youth and when you coach high school sports is seeing someone figure it out a little bit's one thing, but seeing them figure it out at the higher stages where they weren't even sure, but then they do it and then they build on that confidence and you watch a kid do it and you're like, that is one of the best feelings in the world. So
Yep. And I think, you have a lot of luxuries being this team's coach, offensive luxuries, outfield luxuries. The luxury that you have to have three guys behind the dish that can really do it, with Joey being your
right.
super utility, right? If you need a left fielder, you can put Joey out there. If you need a third baseman, you could put Joey at third. If you need a first baseman, you could put Joey at first. And then if Michael or Andrew needs a break, Joey goes behind the dish and gives them a spell.
We've even pitched Joey.
Dude, the ultimate luxury that you have is the ability to move guys around. And with so many athletes on this team, it's not very hard.
Right. And he wants to be a pilot, but he could play college baseball. That bat translates anywhere. So
absolutely, 100%. There's some schools that have pilot programs, and you can play baseball as well.
I know. I keep telling them. I'm like,
yeah. Oh yeah. Let's go to our last kind of utility guy. By utility, probably more of a DH. Might see some time at first base, but going to see a bunch of time on the mound. Aiden Rivera missed most of last year with an arm injury. Right, couldn't throw very much. Year before it was kind of injury plagued. Honestly, and I think he would tell you this: he wasn't in shape. Right, he wasn't in baseball shape. He wasn't in playing shape, and I think he's kind of got himself there now. But again, like maturing, growing up, in it for the long haul and for the right reasons, and does things the right way. Aiden's going to come back and see some innings on the mound, going to see some time at DH, maybe some time at first when we give Schlags a break. What do you got on Aiden?
Good baseball player, right? Hits the ball as hard as anybody, right? Yep. I mean, he can smack the ball. Won us a game last year versus the Dirtbags on a triple. And also one of the best personalities. Great guy. There's no one that I've coached that I like being on the bench with more than Aiden Rivera, dude. That kid is a personality. He, one, is a great teammate. All the guys absolutely love him. And you know what? He had minimal opportunities probably the last 2 years, and talk about a kid who's made the most of those opportunities. Oh my God. Pinch hit, triple, win us the game. He's given us innings off the mound, right? Where he's ate up some innings in tough games where we're down arms, right? Every time we pinch hit that kid this year, he hit the ball hard and got us RBIs or did exactly what his job was. So excited to have him back.
Yeah. Let's go to the mound now, the abundance of riches that you have on the mound. We are going to start with Johnny Galley. Wow. What do you say about this kid? This is your workhorse, I think. He was probably 1A, 1B on my 26 team last year. He reclassed as a 27. You're going to have the privilege of getting to watch him operate this year. Super lively fastball, 85 to 88 miles an hour. Outstanding curveball or slider, I guess it is. And then split finger to go with it. He's another legit Power 5 guy in the college baseball ranks. What do you remember about Johnny? I think you had him a few times last year. What do you remember?
Great kid, great family again, right? I know we talked about his brother. Yeah, not a lot to say in a good way. Like just a big guy who's going to throw strikes, and like the ceiling for him, with the work ethic and the people he's got around him is, as hard as he works and the stuff that he has, right? The arsenal that he has is he's going to be a big time pitcher for somewhere I'm at the next level. So, I mean, I don't have much to say besides it's just excited to see him go back out there and kind of do what he does, right? And I feel like a lot of the pitchers that we have, like
Yeah.
the same, right?
Sure. Yep. Let's go to another one of our starters, Brody Leibel, who I believe was it yesterday or the day before in opening day went 7 innings,
Yesterday,
1 hit.
no, I think well, they're actually having a decent little year. So that's the high school that I coach basketball at.
Gotcha.
Which is right down the block here. But yeah, Brody was used sparingly as a freshman on the varsity team last year. I think he played third base for them, even though he's a PO for us, and then had some innings. But yeah, yesterday, 7 innings, 7 innings, 1 hit, 7 Ks, 0 earned runs. And, I don't care where you play high school baseball or what, it's still, to go out there and mow a team down, right? And it was a 2-0 game, so it wasn't some non-competitive thing where it was like 12 runs or something like that. But dude, Brody it's funny is I mean, obviously I coached him in basketball, I brought him to the Dodgers scout team, but I told his parents when I met him, I'm like, dude, we'll get him to upper 80s, right? By the time he's a senior. And I'm like, he's a college pitcher, right? He's a sophomore and he's hit 88 like 3 times. 20 plus inches of run on a 2-seamer at 88.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just gotta locate it. You just gotta locate it. And and you know what? He posts a lot of stuff and you see him. Sure. It's it's effortless, right? I mean, and the body, right? Like the lankiness,
the body
has
at the next level.
It has it beefed up, right? I mean, he's doing a great job. It's just, what's funny too is you should just be competitive when you're young, right? Like get in there, right? Throw strikes, get yourself. It's amazing what you're going to do when you're competitive in the high school level, right? Just go at people, right? Because if your stuff's good enough, it's going to work for you.
So let's quickly touch on your other starters on the staff. Ethan Whistler, we already touched a little bit. I think he's a pitcher at the next level. I think he's well above 90 as a senior in high school. I think he's going to pitch at a Power 5 school. My only concern with Ethan is the walk rate. He walks too many guys. But he's got great stuff. He's perfect pitcher's body. And honestly, pitching allows him to play basketball for longer because hitting only gets harder, right? Pitching, as long as you get your work in, it is what it is. But trying to do both at a super high level is very difficult. But he's definitely going to jump on the bump, be a starter with Johnny and with Brody. Your other starter, Hawk Lakari, left-handed, big swing and miss guy. Last year, that was kind of the two-headed monster. Great curveball, right? The two-headed monster last year was Ethan and Hawk. You could start one, bring the other in, right, or vice versa. It really didn't matter. Both could do it. Big fastball from Hawk as well from the left side. Those are your top 4. Right. And then you run into these 5-game events. And then our next guy, Holden Kafis, is going to get run out there as a starter. We've talked about his athleticism a little bit thus far on the pod. Talk about his pitching a little bit, right?
Yeah, I'll talk about Ethan and Kafe a little bit. We'll go Ethan first. Ethan's one, right, where it's like a lot of these other guys. Ethan's already in a big body, right? Like he's a big boy, right? And I agree. Like one thing Ethan could do would be throw more strikes, right? Because his stuff's that good that he doesn't need to be cute, right? Especially early in games, right? Let these guys get themselves out, right? Yep. Early, right? Then you can start banging the slider and doing all that later in the innings, right? Where it's like, but go after these guys. I think that's a huge thing for him. Holden sounds like he's having an incredible high school season. He had there is nobody that I put into worse situations than
Tougher
holding it.
situations.
Like
Yeah.
it's like number 2 Scorpions team, 1-run game, bases loaded type of stuff that I put Holden into constantly, right? And it's funny is it started a little bit more as of like, man, who am I going to put in there? Holden can probably handle it. To now he's the guy that I've gone to in that situation almost every single time, right? And he's gotten progressively better, right? And early on, I think it was the shock value of the scout team world and like the tournaments you're in and all of that, right? Where he didn't want to get in on people, right? And I think there was a shift, right? And it's like we're talking about where you grow up a little bit, blah blah blah. But Holden started realizing like I'm the man, right? Like I can blow these guys away. My stuff's good enough, and I throw it all for a strike. And then you saw that last year, right? Where I put him into bad situations, and he threw strikes, was super competitive, won us baseball games a lot like as Schlager did in those longer relief situations for the tight spots where I needed outs, where I needed to get out of them. I put Holden in those situations last year, and he, succeeded with flying colors. So, big hopes for Holden. He can do.
Absolutely.
He can do a lot. Not to mention another guy like you're ever down anywhere, that kid can play a lot of positions.
Play anywhere in the outfield. I know he can play a little bit of second base.
Yeah, he's played second for us.
I mean, he can really go like super athletic. I mean, we're going to give him a shot to play on these Victus teams as an outfielder. So he's going to split some time between you guys as an arm and then going to the Victus teams and getting some at bats. I think that's just it gives him a wider range to play college baseball. Right.
Also, elite base runner, Holden
Yes.
Cafis.
Yes, absolutely.
Pretty much just at third base if you put him at first base.
That's right. Let's go to the kid that I think is going to be the wild card for you guys. Miles Benitez. 6'6", 230, up to 86 in his last event. I think the biggest thing with Miles and why he's the wild card, because if he figures out his body and how to move and how to get a consistent release point, he has stuff, he has moxie, he throws the shit out of it. It's heavy. It is a heavy baseball. The wild card is, can he figure out the body?
Gotta throw strikes. Gotta throw strikes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And, love the guy, love his family, great people. So happy he's on the team, right? Can hit it a little bit too. Like we used him in pinch hit situations last year.
Yep.
A couple times. But yeah, I mean, dude, he's a power pitcher. He's a 1 or 2 inning guy on the mound, but he needs to be able to throw strikes in those 1 or 2 innings when he comes in. And again, kid where it's like the stuff's good enough that if he throws strikes, it'll be okay. But he's got to throw strikes. That's it.
Got to throw the ball over the dish. I agree. Real quick with your pitching staff, we're going to cover some of these other guys very quickly. Some of your two-way guys, we already talked about Hawk and Ethan, right? Montesano's going to see some innings. Benicio's going to see some innings. Nolan Rowley's going to see some innings. Was up to 89 the other day in live at-bats in high school. Like, get out of here with that. Kid doesn't even pitch. Jumped up on the mound, 89. Punched out 2 guys, 2 out of 3. As a sophomore, by the way. As a sophomore. We talked a little bit about Schlager already on the bump. Just an embarrassment of riches for the 2027 team for Coach Ryan Kelley. Enjoy that this year.
It's going to be awesome. I'm excited.
Yep. And I'm going to see you quite a bit this year. I kind of did the schedule so that you or I are in the same spots for most of the year. I think 4 out of the 5 tournaments were in the same spot, so that's awesome. And I think I might go down to Atlanta and watch you guys play WWBA, although I know that's a tournament you're not going to be able to be at. But
Brothers Bachelor Party.
Yeah. Hey, man, enjoy that. Have fun. But, yeah. Yeah, we're excited about that. So we're gonna start in West Palm, obviously. Uh, you know, just the greatest place on earth. We'll roll up to Atlanta, play a PBR. We'll go back to West Palm and play in the Prospect Select World Series. You guys after that go back to Atlanta, playing WWBA, and then stay in Atlanta for the PBR National Championship, and then we will see you guys down in Baton Rouge at LSU for the Marucci World Series. Super excited about that. Ryan, you got anything in particular that you're looking forward to, like, an event or a couple guys that you're excited to see? What do you
I'm
have as
excited.
far as stuff for this year that you're looking forward to?
I'm excited. I mean, obviously, with all the new additions, it's always fun to meet the guys and see, what kind of baseball players, what kind of guys there are, get to know their personalities, right? If they're boys with meat, you pretty much got pretty high hopes they're going to be some good guys and have some good times. And you know what I think, right, this is obviously serious. We take it serious, but you forget, right? These are, technically kids playing summer baseball, right? And it's like that type of excitement. It's so easy to go back and put yourself in that mindset, especially coaching it now, and just be like, how exciting, right? And you think about the level you played baseball at, right? I'm older, you're older, John, and it's, you know, it was different back then and you loved it so much. And now it's like you just get these guys, who I'm coaching for the fourth year in a row, who, we're going to Atlanta or Florida for like the fifth time together. And it's like you realize how close you become with a lot of these people, and it's exciting. I mean, it's gonna be a good summer, right? Like talent wise and projectability wise for our team is higher than it's ever been. Right now, it's about just going out there and handling business. But I'm excited.
I think that's the thing. Like, one of the things that we do well, and Manny and I were talking about it. Our coaches stay with these guys from the time they're in 7th or 8th grade until they graduate, assuming the coaches are still around, right? Some guys go get other jobs and they can't do it, or have jobs that aren't going to let them do it anymore, right? I know that remote work is a little harder to come by nowadays. But I think that's the biggest thing is, we keep our coaches with their teams all the way up. So they build relationships with families. They build relationships with players. The players and the families can trust these guys, can trust our coaches to do what's right by them. But also our coaches feel like that they can have tough conversations if need be, or can just go and shoot the shit and drink a beer and say, hey, look, like, this has to be better. Like, with Joey C and the struggles last year, that conversation with Frank. I mean, if that's a first time, if that's the first time you're seeing Frank and Joey 2 tournaments in and he's hung an 0 for 12 or 0 for 13, I mean, that's an uncomfortable conversation. It makes it a lot easier when you know the family and know the players. And that's one reason why we do this, because sometimes conversations can get heated and uncomfortable. And if you know the people, typically cooler heads prevail, and the message that we're trying to portray comes across a lot easier. And kudos to you, because I know that, every family that I've ever talked to on this team has spoken very highly of you.
Thank you.
You've done such a great job with these guys, and we're looking forward to you taking them and until they graduate, and then finding another squad for you to coach. With the Lynx baseball. So, Rye, man, I appreciate this.
Of course.
Real quick, I'm gonna do some alumni stuff. I'm only gonna keep you for like 2 or 3 more minutes. And the reason why I'm gonna keep you is because I'm gonna talk about your guy, Montini Catholic's finest, Jack Calcagno, pitched for the Dodgers Scout Team, the 2024 team in WWBA for Coach Delgado. He's down at University of Tampa right now, Division II. 4 appearances, 5 innings, 5 Ks. ERA is up there at 10.8. Jack, welcome to college baseball at the highest level.
Yeah.
But you know what? The kid's getting a shot, man. Like, that's really all that you can ask for. Right? You had Jack for a number of years. What's your guy got going on?
Dude, he's doing the right stuff. I mean, he's down there in Tampa. I mean, I talked to him, and Jordy talked to him probably like once every other week, right? He checks in, he stays in contact. He's a guy too, college baseball's a job, right? It's a different animal, and figuring that out is a shock for everybody, right? And I remember Jack getting down there. I was like, man, I'm like, they're gonna have you run like 5 miles, 8 miles, dude. I'm like, get ready. And he's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, yeah. Calls me like 2 weeks after. He's like, dude, they had me run like so many miles. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I told you. But totally is bought into what they have going on down there. I know he's on, their long-term projectability, right? I think they have him working out a lot. And he was up to like 92, 93 in the spring when he or in the fall last year when he showed up. So
Yeah.
he's got a hugely high ceiling, right? He's committed to playing. He loves going to school down there. I've been to the campus down there. I've seen a baseball game down there. It's incredible. So, there's nothing like not to like about it, but I mean, he's also a guy, brother was a lineman at Penn State. So he understands what it is to play, to be a collegiate athlete, right? His big brother, who now runs a barbecue spot in Elmhurst, Illinois.
Nice.
But it was a Penn State lineman. So Jack knows, like, the level of competitiveness that he's at. I mean, Tampa's back to back, I think, D2 national champions. And, it's pretty much a D1 program down there where they have guys coming down from D1s, good D1s all the time, because they know the level of baseball they're going to get at the University of Tampa is, as good,
I
as
think
a
it's
lot
like
of these.
6 years in a row they've been in the D2 World Series.
Yeah, they're
Like
unbelievable.
they're always there.
Dude, but Jack, like you said, Jack's in a position where they like what they've seen out of him, right? He knows the work that needs to be put in, and now it's about, staying the course, doing what your coach is asking you. And, I think we'll see Jack on that mound, for Tampa here soon, and that'll be exciting. Great kid, right? Does all the right stuff, and is talk about a competitor, right? I mean, he'll go out there. He wants to give it to everybody he ever goes and faces. So it's like, with a guy with an attitude like that, the family he comes from and the place he's in, I mean, I see him doing big things at Tampa. So that's exciting.
Yeah. Shout out, Jack. Best of luck, buddy. If you get a chance to watch this, right, do your thing, keep your head up, work hard, right, throw the ball over the dish like Coach Kelley says.
Yeah, dude. Go at these guys. Come on.
Go at them. All right, Rye. I'm not going to keep you any longer. I appreciate you being on. I will talk to you at some point here in the next few days, and we will get some travel plans start getting made, make some of these hotel arrangements and things like that. So,
Amen. Love you, Linker.
Love you too, buddy. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Ryan Kelley, 2027 Marucci coach. Man, that's my guy. That is my guy. Plug one of our sponsors real quick. Go Route. Champions are built in practice. With Go Route Baseball, every rep is faster, sharper, and smarter. No more hand signs, no more paper, just real-time communication from coach to player, directly on the field. Hit and runs, bunt defenses, pickoff plays, all delivered with perfect clarity instantly. Trusted by top high school and college programs, Go Route brings efficiency and precision to every practice and game. Less standing, more reps, better baseball. This is Go Route. Visit GoRoute.com. Take a look. Guys, we are going to use it. I am excited to use it throughout the organization. All the Marucci teams are going to use it. I'm hoping to get everyone on the field with the Marucci teams, the Go Routes, and then the Victus teams. We're going to try to do pitchers and catchers. We're going to call Mike and those guys and get that set up. But we're really excited to use the product. Coach Delgado's high school, Millbrook, uses it. He likes it a bunch. So excited to be partnering with Go Route, for this season and many seasons to come. I'm going to touch real quick on some more alumni. We got Jack taken care of. I left Ryan on the pod, right? Jack is Ryan's guy. And, Ryan had him for 4 years in high school. Next, one of our guys, North Carolina guy, Brady Groves. He's at Oberlin College in Ohio. Just a monster freshman year last year. Hit 382, 38 games played, started 38 games, 157 at-bats, 2 home runs, school record 7 triples, 10 doubles, had 60 hits. Struck out 26 times, walked 12. But as a freshman, hitting in the leadoff spot, playing every day. This year they got him hitting in the 3-hole. Little bit different results. Hitting 241. Has 22 games, 87 at bats. Has 21 hits, 6 doubles and triple. I think the biggest thing that we're starting to see with Brady and all you high school players, listen to this. When you go to college, there are such things as scouting reports. So the schools know who you are and what you're about, and they're pitching him a lot differently this year. And not only are they pitching him differently, he's not hitting leadoff anymore. He's hitting in the 3-hole. So, makes it a lot tougher to get there and to continue success. Like, that's how hard baseball is. They will throw the scouting report on you. And it's tough, man. Like, hitting in college baseball is very hard. But Brady's locking down the center field for Oberlin. Having a good run of it so far, but we expect big things from Brady. Next, we are going to go to our pro guys. We got 3 pro guys in pro baseball right now. We had a 4th, John Lopez. The Pirates released him a few weeks ago, so he's still looking for a job. We are going to talk about Brian Gonzalez with the Dodgers. Brian was a 6th-round pick by the Dodgers. Just had a really good 2023 year. Had an okay 2024 year. Brian, and in the year 2024, is only 18 years old. So keep that in mind. He was drafted as a 17-year-old, 35 plate appearances, hit 220 for the Rookie League Dodgers. Last year, 29 plate appearances, hit a .130. He was hurt. I know he hit a double and rolled his ankle bad sliding into second base and missed a lot of time, and then just couldn't ever get right. I know he went and played winter ball for Carolina down in the Puerto Rican League. 17 games played, 44 at-bats, hit 244. Winter ball is hard. A lot of those guys that play winter ball are big leaguers, some former, some current, but a lot of the guys down there that play winter ball are big leaguers, and playing winter ball is extremely difficult. Sound like he had a pretty good go of it. Looking forward to see what Brian does this season. I think he'll be back in Rookie League as a 19-year-old for the start of his, I guess it's his 2nd full professional season. His draft year when he was 17, he only got to play, or it was only half season, no spring training. So that was a little more difficult. First time draft, getting out there, kind of doing your thing. It makes it tough to get out there and to kind of get acclimated. Next, I want to talk about Michael Callan Moss, selected by the Royals last year. Started last year in A-ball, played 22 games, hit 339, just can really swing it. This year in Quad Cities in, I guess it's high A, 5 games so far, hitting 235. I think just a testament, like when you go up levels, baseball gets harder, right? He is a career 316 hitter at this point, but, again, starting his 2nd season, you go to a higher level. Callan was actually one of the first guys that, we got to play for us when we had the first year of the Dodgers Scout Team. It was funny, we talked to Callan. He was all in, committed to Seton Hall. I guess it was 2 weeks before the first tournament that we played. Manny was taking his group down to West Palm Beach, and Callan called and said, "Hey, coach, Seton Hall wants me to play in a collegiate league." So we said, "All right, no worries, go do your thing," right? And I knew the pitching coach at Seton Hall at the time, and I called, and Pat said, "Yeah, we think he's a big time guy for us. We want him to get used to college pitching sooner rather than later. So you know what?" Said, "Callan, go do your thing, man." And he obviously has 2-year starter at Seton Hall, drafted by the Royals, doing his thing in Kansas City. Next guy, Yahil Melendez, drafted in the 4th round by the Cubs. Wait, I'm sorry, that's wrong. 7th round by the Cubs. Played, another really young player, drafted at 17. First year in rookie ball, played 10 games, 38 at-bats, hit 237. Definitely the thing with Yahil is the glove. That is his deal. He is a shortstop. He is a true shortstop. The kid can really pick it. Huge fan of Yahil. The hands, he can really do it. Playing the hardest position to play, obviously, in baseball at shortstop. Last year, as an 18-year-old, played in 53 games, had 179 at bats, hit 268. Excuse me. Really getting his feet wet in the first full season. He's a 263 hitter in the minor leagues thus far after 2 years, 1 full season. This year, I'm sure he'll be back in rookie ball as a 19-year-old. But like I said, he can really pick it in the infield, playing shortstop. I think all these guys and all the players that aspire to be professionals, take a look at these guys and follow them. Follow their careers. Really see what it takes for guys that played for us, that were a part of our organization. Baseball is not easy. It's a difficult sport. It's all about failure, and that's something that you guys have to deal with. And players at every level go through it. Big leaguers go through it. Minor leaguers go through it. College guys go through it. I mean, it is tough to play this game at a high level. When we started Lynx Baseball, we got guys like Callan and some of these older guys, they all went to college, and back then we were the Dodgers Scout Team, and I know that brought a lot of allure. When the Dodgers pulled all the sponsorships, obviously we lost ours. So, it's been tough, but our board and we got together, we created Lynx Baseball. Here we are, and I think that all of this is made possible with help from our sponsors like Go Route, like Marucci, right? Greatness isn't given, it's built in the cages, in the weight room, in the dirt and sweat you leave. Marucci Sports knows what it takes because they've been there. Founded by big leaguers, the gear is designed by players for players. Bats that deliver power, gloves that feel like extensions of your hand. Apparel built for hustle. Whether you're chasing your first hit or your next contract, they've got your back. This isn't just equipment, it's a commitment to your grind. Marucci, honor the game. Guys, MarucciSports.com, or you could go to lockerroom.maruccisports.com. Sign up, enter store code Lynx Baseball, all one word. That's how you support us, our apparel, our merchandise, or just regular Marucci merchandise. They make great gloves. They make great bats. I like their bags. Their new apparel, the Stable line, is fantastic. I compare it to a Lululemon or a Fabletics, something like that. The shirts are super comfortable. I honestly and it's way cheaper than Lululemon too. So lockerroom.maruccisports.com, enter code Lynx Baseball, all one word. Go get you some gear, either Lynx gear, Marucci gear, whatever you guys need. That is our podcast for today. Like, listen, subscribe. The YouTube channel is doing pretty well thus far. I'm proud of where it's going. This is episode 10. We're going to try to do 2 per week. Some weeks are going to be, only 1. We have guys that are doing some things. We still have to cover the 2029 Marucci team. We'll try to get a call with Jordan and get that done. We'll cover the 2029 Victus team up in the Northeast. We'll get a call with Coach Primo and Marcus and cover the 2030 Victus team, or the 2030 Marucci team up in the Northeast. Excuse me about that. They are going to be a Marucci team. So, the podcast is going well. We're excited. We're going to get some more guests. We're going to see if we can't get Brian or Yahil to come on. Some of our former players that are in college now. Obviously, we had Tim and Jimmy on last podcast. They, both coach for us now. They are former players, but both are coaches now. So we're going to try to get some of our other guys to come back and do it. Try to do some live interviews, maybe a couple live shows somewhere. Take some questions. But man, Lynx baseball is really taking off. We're really going places. Got some big things in the works in the youth side of baseball. One place that I think that we can really affect families and young men is on the youth side, to show them how it's supposed to be done. I've said it before. I will say it again. We do this a little differently. And I think that, because of how we treat people, I think that we do it a lot better than most people. So something I'm very proud of. I think that we treat people the right way. We do right by people. We realize that this isn't about us, right? This is about the boys and the kids and helping them achieve their goals with whatever that is, right? It might be playing college baseball. It might be playing varsity baseball in high school, right? If that's your goal, we're going to help you achieve that. So something I'm very proud of, doing things the right way all the time. Our next podcast, a little teaser. We're going to try to get Coach Beltran back on with Coach Jonathan Red. Red helped us start the organization 4 years ago. So we'll try to get them on, kind of talk to you guys about how it all came about with the two of them. That first year, them coaching, traveling, right? And then, Red got a huge promotion at work. So kind of had to step away, right? The day job came calling. But Red's still involved in baseball. We talk to him all the time. So we're going to look forward to getting him on the podcast and chopping it up with him, and kind of tell everybody, how this all came about and why we do the things we do. So thank you all for listening. Like, listen, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.